McDonald's is not really a burger company. It is a real estate machine with fries on the side. Every Big Mac, every drive-thru, and every glowing golden arch sits on top of the part of the business most people never think about, the land. Because the burger made people hungry, but the rent made McDonald's powerful. And the strangest part is, this started with two brothers trying to make lunch less annoying. In 1948, Dick and Mac McDonald looked at their drive-in restaurant in San Bernardino, California, and decided it had too much of everything. Too many menu items, too many car hops, too many customers waiting around, too many ways for a burger to become a hostage situation. So they removed almost everything. Before the cuts, their menu was huge, complicated, and difficult to manage. Customers parked outside while car hops carried different meals from car to car. But when the crowd arrived, the entire system became slow and chaotic. Orders piled up, mistakes multiplied, and customers were left waiting. So the brothers cleared away the clutter and rebuilt the restaurant from scratch. They reduced the menu to a few simple favorites: burgers, fries, drinks, and shakes. Then they redesigned the kitchen to work like a factory assembly line. Each worker handled one task, allowing meals to reach customers incredibly fast. And a hamburger cost only 15 cents. Every ingredient, movement, and cooking time was carefully standardized. The new system worked. Customers got simple food served fresh, without the usual confusion. Instead of waiting at their cars, people could collect a complete meal in seconds. The line moved so quickly that customers came, ate, and left before the parking lot could slow them down. They called it the speedy service system: buns, patties, assembly, wrapping, and orders out. It was not just a restaurant anymore. It was a design that could be copied. Every worker, machine, and ingredient had one exact place in the process. But the brothers were satisfied with a small, efficient operation in California. Then, a milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc noticed an unusual order for 8 multi-mixers. Why would one tiny restaurant need enough machines to make dozens of shakes at once? Ray had one question: what kind of restaurant was producing that much demand? So Kroc went to see it. And when he arrived, he did not just see burgers. He saw motion. He saw order. He saw a system that could be copied. Ray looked at this tiny restaurant and thought, this should be everywhere. The McDonald brothers had already sold a few franchises, but Ray wanted more, a lot more. The plan was simple: put McDonald's across America. The problem was also simple. Ray did not have enough money, enough control, or enough patience. Franchising sounds easy when you describe it quickly. Give someone your name, teach them your system, let them sell your burgers, collect your check. Unfortunately, franchisees are people, and people are where consistency goes to die. One operator wants to change the menu. Another wants to cut corners. Another thinks the golden arches would look better next to barbecue ribs. Ray hated this, because the whole point of McDonald's was that every store had to feel the same. Same burger, same fries, same speed, same tiny promise that no matter where you were, the meal would behave. But Ray had a bad deal. Under the early arrangement, he collected a small cut from franchise sales. Not enough to grow fast, not enough to buy land, not enough to build the empire in his head. So imagine Ray Kroc in 1956. He has the system, he has the dream, he has the golden arches, and he is still kind of broke. Then Harry Sonneborn walked in. Sonneborn was not the mascot. He was not the smiling founder. He was the finance guy, which means he was dangerous in a much quieter way. Ray was thinking about restaurants. Sonneborn was thinking about the ground under the restaurants, and that one difference changed everything. Tell me about the land, Sonneborn says. The land? Yes, the buildings, the sites. Who controls them? The franchisee does, Ray says. They find the location, they build the restaurant, we train them. Sonneborn just looks at him. So they control the most important part of the business? Ray blinks. The burger? No, Ray. The place where the burger is sold. That was the moment. McDonald's was not going to become rich by taking a tiny cut of cheap hamburgers. You cannot build an empire on a small slice of a 15-cent burger. You build it by controlling the land where the burger has to be cooked. So McDonald's created a real estate machine. The company would find or secure the location, buy or lease the land, lease that location to the franchisee, then collect rent, royalties, and fees. Now the franchisee did not just need permission to use the name, they needed access to the place. That is a much stronger leash, because if you control the brand, you control the menu. But if you control the land, you control the operator. The franchisee could sell the burgers, hire the workers, deal with the broken equipment, wake up every morning and pray the ice cream machine had decided to participate in society. But McDonald's controlled the system underneath them. The restaurant was the engine, the real estate was the steering wheel, and suddenly, Ray had what he had been missing: money and control. Rent gave McDonald's a steadier revenue stream. Royalties gave it upside when stores sold more. The lease gave it power when franchisees ignored the rules. It was brutally elegant. If a location did well, McDonald's made more. If the franchisee wanted to keep the location, they had to follow the system. If McDonald's wanted to expand, the rent machine helped fund the next store. Burgers created traffic. Traffic paid rent. Rent helped buy more land. More land created more restaurants. More restaurants sold more burgers. That is not a restaurant chain. That is a flywheel wearing a paper hat. A normal restaurant survives one meal at a time. Every slow day hurts. Every wage increase hurts. Every customer who says, "I'll just eat at home," becomes a tiny betrayal. But McDonald's let franchisees handle much of the daily chaos, while corporate collected money from the system. The operator worried about labor, food costs, equipment, and whether teenagers could be trusted near a fryer. McDonald's worried about location, standards, and scale. That is the difference between owning a restaurant and owning the board game. By 1961, Ray bought out the McDonald brothers for $2.7 million. The brothers kept their name out of the empire. Ray kept the machine. And the machine started spreading. Highways, suburbs, shopping centers, busy intersections. Places where hungry people were already moving. McDonald's did not just ask, "Where can we sell burgers?" It asked, "Where will people already be?" That question is everything, because a bad burger in a great location can survive longer than a great burger hidden behind a tire shop. Location turns convenience into money. The golden arches became a signal, not just "food is here." More like, you already know what this is, how long it will take, what it will cost, and roughly how disappointed you are allowed to be before it still counts as normal. That predictability is valuable. And when predictability sits on valuable land, it becomes extremely valuable. Fast forward to today, and this model is not some internet myth. McDonald's reported 43,477 restaurants at the end of 2024, and about 95% were franchised. That means most McDonald's restaurants are not run directly by McDonald's corporate. They are run by franchisees, but the money still flows back. In 2024, McDonald's reported $15.7 billion in revenue from franchised restaurants. Over $10 billion of that was rent. Royalties were about $5.6 billion. So yes, the burgers matter, but the rent is not a side quest. The rent is the boss fight. This is the part most customers never see. You walk into McDonald's thinking about lunch. The franchisee is thinking about staff, supplies, equipment, app orders, drive-thru speed, rent, royalties, and whether someone is about to order 47 McFlurries during rush hour. McDonald's is thinking bigger. Who owns the corner? How does this location perform? How does the lease work? How does this restaurant fit into the global machine? The customer sees the meal. The franchisee sees the store. McDonald's sees the map. And the map is where the empire quietly lives in plain sight. Now, this does not mean McDonald's is pretending to sell food. The food matters. If nobody buys the fries, nobody pays the rent. If nobody trusts the brand, the land is just land. If the restaurants collapse, the real estate machine breaks. So the genius is not food or real estate. It is food powering real estate. The burger is the battery. The land is the device. A McDonald's with no customers is an expensive building with a clown problem. A busy McDonald's on the right corner is a cash machine that smells like fries. That is what Sonneborn understood. The brothers built the food system. Ray Kroc sold the system. Sonneborn turned the system into property. And once that happened, McDonald's stopped being just a place where people bought burgers. It became a network of locations, leases, operators, rules, royalties, and rent. A small yellow M on the side of the road started meaning something much bigger. This land has traffic. This traffic creates sales. These sales pay rent. This rent funds expansion. This expansion creates more land. And around it goes. That is how a 15-cent hamburger helped build one of the most recognizable companies on earth. Not because the burger was magical. It was simple, fast, repeatable, good enough. But the business around the burger was brilliant. So the next time you pass a McDonald's, do not just look at the menu. Look at the corner, the road, the parking lot, the drive-thru lane, the flow of people moving past it every day. Because McDonald's did not become McDonald's by selling the best burger. It became McDonald's by understanding something most restaurants never do. The customer buys the food. The franchisee runs the store. But McDonald's controls the ground where the whole thing happens. The burger gets you in the door. The land is where the empire lives.